Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from the outskirts here, and it's the Gaming Saloon for April 19th, 2026, with your host, Peacemaker 2448, and Ramp Up Salon.
Hi.
We have the dumbest thing I've seen in a while to talk about right at the top of the show.
What, that they're doing the Halo Battle Royale?
No.
Because obviously even Microsoft thought that was a dumb idea because they backed out of that one.
Yes. I didn't put it in there, but apparently the guy who was like, I'm going to talk about things that are going on at 343 Studios / Halo Studios, but I have to talk about it next year because I have to wait. And then his stuff came out, and it's like, mismanagement across the board and favoritism and all that. Who could have saw that coming? It's almost like I forget the main. Is it Marty O'Donnell?
Yep.
He did. Yeah, it was almost like what Marty said, I think, in an interview. I don't know how old it is. I think it's only like a couple years old. He did about his time at Bungie, the transition to 343, his time at Bungie, his departure from Bungie, and basically saying, at least in Bungie, the Microsoft got in there and it became a problem. And I'm like, I wonder who else has Microsoft in the upper management part and it's causing problems. Whoever could it be?
I mean, could be anyone.
Yeah, we have that in other fun things. Hey, we have a game that you may not remember.
What game?
Do you remember Fair Game $?
Nope.
Exactly. But we have that and more, folks. But first, Zombie, what have you been playing the last couple weeks?
Honestly, not anything.
Fair. I'm probably still putting too much time in the Slay the Spire, and they are sneaking in like new stuff while no one's paying attention.
Doesn't surprise me.
Like I did a run today, and there's a new artifact that I have not seen before, and I'm like, they're putting stuff in here, and they are not like putting attention to it. So you have to pay attention to like your compendium stuff and see if there are things you have not discovered yet.
Oh, now the bot's gonna catch up.
Of course. But yeah, that. I got through Chapter 5 of Super Robot Wars Y just in time for them to go, hey, by the way, we're doing a stream on 420. The first half of the stream, we'll be talking about Super Robot Wars Y. And I go, oh, look, they're going to announce more DLC. Dang it. I am still enjoying the game. I do agree with someone I was talking to in a Discord of they could do with like 10 less missions as a minimum. There's just too many missions. It really slows the game down. It's not like they're bad missions. It's just like you can trim the fat on this a little bit. It's okay. I also took time this past week to finally finish custom spine arts for Rider Blu-rays. It's as far as I can take it now. I posted it in the shelf layout I have as a Photoshop file in the chat. Unless I can get help on cracking files or figuring out where spreadsheets are, I can't do like a final form variant for everyone from Kuga through Ghost, because I don't know where the sprite sheets are for those. I can't put Tackle into the stronger one because Tackle's in the Gen 2 super spreadsheet, which is where the final forms are in All Rider Revolution. Again, I can't find them. And I can't do anybody from Build onward because those sprites don't exist. I'd have to make them myself.
Which makes sense.
I don't know if I want to. That is a question for, I don't know, me somewhere down the line. Maybe when I get assistance on getting sprite sheets and stuff, I'll consider it, because then I'll have like everything that the games have to offer, and then I can build from there. Because I have an idea of how to make the sprites. Whether or not it will turn out good, I don't know. That was a couple of days of finishing work. I also don't know if the size of the spines will shake out with who's putting out the Blu-rays, because only like a tenth of the Blu-rays of the spine arts present on there actually exist. Because we've got V3X in Amazon from Discotek. Stronger is on the way from Discotek, but they haven't released it yet. Shout Factory has not put out Original Rider, even though it was the first show they got. It is still streaming only, and we don't know if or when they'll ever put it out, or if it would even be one box, since, you know, it's 98 episodes. It might just be 2 sets. Black and Blacker X are out from Discotek. Shins and ONJ are out from Media Blasters. Kuga's out from Shout Factory. Ryugi's out from Shack Factory. The Kamen Rider First and Next movies are out from Media Blasters. And then Geats is out from Shout Factory. So basically everything else does not have an actual physical release to go with. This doesn't account for any potential movie collections, since there's like a dozen or so Showa movies that are not licensed, that are under technically different license from their TV shows, and we don't know how they would be done. Also, I don't know how they would do Zit Cross, since it's just a TV special, so I don't know if that would be a thing solo released or with the movies. Which is basically me saying only the TV shows are the really hard locked in, like labeled in numbers. Everything else is just theoretically this is what should come out.
If it comes out.
Yeah. But yeah, that was 2 days of finishing work. Beyond that, it's not been much else. I'm basically waiting for a Star Rail update this next week. That's more or less the anniversary update. Yay. I guess anything else before we get to the news then?
Nah.
All right then. Coming out of Bloomberg, specifically from one Cecilia Diasanto, I assume a co-worker of Jason Schreier over at Bloomberg, comes this report involving Epic basically coming out of their layoff of 1,000 people. So the big thing that people have talked about coming out of this is their upcoming projects. I'll see where it says in this article just to make sure. But yeah, she spoke to 8 current and former Fortnite or Epic employees.
Go ahead and say it the right way. Fortnite employees.
Yeah. So, Epic is planning to release, at the time, 3 planned, there are 3 Disney-centric games by November 2026. One of them, I think, has been axed, and the resources have been piled into the 2 others. Now, one of them we don't know what is. But the first one of these is the what the fuck? So, you know how everyone wants to do extraction shooters for some godforsaken reason?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about a Disney extraction shooter?
I mean, it could work, question mark.
I'm just staring at it like, why would you think anyone would be interested in a Disney extraction shooter?
Because money and Disney.
Where is the cross section of the hardcore gaming audience that likes extraction shooters and Disney people?
Money.
I don't think that exists.
Money.
I know that because Disney invested 1.5 billion into Epic for, as a reminder, folks, that's what they did in 2024.
But like I said, money. That's where the intersection is. Disney likes money. People that like Disney like money. People that like extraction shooters like money. So it's just money. That's the only cross section there.
Yeah. I know Marathon has apparently got traction, which I bet Bungie's real thankful for that. Because otherwise they'd be in trouble. But I don't think this works. And bear in mind, I am saying Disney extraction shooter because that is the exact language that is used in the original article. Bear in mind, what we have up is not the original article. This is This Week in Games' take on the original article. The original article is linked in our notes via Blue Sky tweet from the writer of the article. But it is stated specifically as a Disney extraction shooter. Because I know some people are like, oh, it would have crossover elements with Marvel and Star Wars. And I go, maybe. But they are specifically saying Disney, which means Disney is at the forefront of the game, which means the mouse is at the forefront of the fucking game. So, like, yeah, there could be like your roster of Marvel characters and your roster of Star Wars characters in there, but it won't just be them, and they won't be the big sell. They might be a season 2 sell down the line, but that's me speculating. So yeah, how do you feel? Also, one more thing. This is not a mode in Fortnite. This is a standalone on its own game. The same with the other one that they're working on.
That'll end up being morphed into a mode in Fortnite.
Probably. But they are being developed on their own. They are not meant to be bolted onto Fortnite. So how do you feel?
It'll be bolted onto Fortnite.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, Fortnite is the only thing that they know how to do anything with.
Yeah, and as they put out, Epic often puts out games as version 0.5 and then fixes it later.
Yeah.
Oh, they're making a Disney extraction shooter. I wonder why. So yeah, that we'll see. This, like I said, this is supposed to be out by November. So we are seeing this year.
Maybe.
If it's coming out in November, we'll see something probably in 2 months. Because guess whose show they will slap a trailer for this for in? Jeff's Summer Game Fest. Because I do not doubt for a second that like they would absolutely be willing to like put money in the Jeff show to be like, show our Disney extraction shooter, and Jeff would be like, ooh yeah, that'll be the end of show game.
So if it fails, it's his fault, right?
Sure, we can blame Jeff for everything wrong with the industry.
I mean, it's worked for others.
But we will scapegoat all the problems with the industry with Jeff Keighley. Anywho, guess who else is doing extraction shooters?
Someone's cousin that works at Nintendo.
No, Sony. You remember that heist game that they're supposed to be making
Sony's
that they only put one trailer
doing.
out of?
Hold on. Sony's already technically doing an extraction shooter.
Right, but they want another one. So you remember Fair Game $?
Nope.
So for those that don't remember Fair Game $, this is a game announced in 2023. It was supposed to be their heist game a la Payday, but they only ever put out one trailer back in 2023 and never again. And they've been quietly just making this game forever and not canceling it.
Maybe.
Also, it's supposed to be a competitive heist experience. Thank you, Insider Gaming, for stating that. It was supposed to be competitive heist experience. Now, apparently, this game is going to have an extraction shooter mode bolted onto it. You know how we were just playing Fortnite and they bolted on a battle royale mode onto the game and it basically saved it? What if the opposite? Yeah, any thoughts?
No.
Fair. But we have good news. We have a roadmap for Future Spires 2, which is mostly just them talking about things that they're going to be putting in the game in the future, because they specifically don't want to put hard dates on anything, because they are, from the little research I was able to dig up, like a sub 50 person studio, if that. So they're prioritizing the health of their folks before the game. So things will come, but they will come eventually. But what they're planning to put into the game, right now, it's Steam Workshop support, more language support, a bestiary, which has a menu icon in the game, but it's not clickable, and experimental game modes that they do not specify what are. They're also going to be fixing bugs, doing compatibility and performance improvements, game balances and tweaks, quality of life features, audio polish, i.e. more silly voices for our creatures, and visual polish, i.e. less of the placeholder art they currently have in the game.
Which some of it's kind of cool.
Yes, I have a pitch for them if they ever hear this. 1 year from now, for April Fools, they should do an April Fool's update that replaces all the art with MS Paint placeholder art.
And then as a finish for the joke, the following day, allow it to be a toggle to where people can decide whether they want to leave it on or not.
Exactly. Just here's an April Fool's update. All the art's the placeholder art. Like all the art they replaced with new art, it's back to the old MS Paint art, and then all the art that didn't have MS Paint art before now has MS Paint art. I think it would just be the cards, because I think that's the cards are the only things that are MS Paint. placeholders and like some of the timeline art, but like it'd be a fun little goof, especially to celebrate a year of the game being out. Content-wise, they are also doing a completely alternate Act 2, a new character, an alternate Act 3, and then more cards, events, relics, and potions, which they have already thrown in relics and the like. And unless you're paying attention, you're probably not noticing that it's something new. Because I have been surprised in the last few days of just like, oh yeah, here's a new relic that I didn't have before. And lastly, the farthest of future updates are ports to other platforms, Steam achievements and trading cards, and then true victory, i.e. the thing we never got to do in the original Slay the Spire. With the three little triangular things.
Oh, yeah.
I assume. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming they're talking about. But yeah, that is the roadmap for Slay the Spire 2 updates for as long as they wish to keep doing updates for Slay the Spire 2. And I say, cool!
Until they decide to do Slay the Spire 3.
I mean, if they do it, they will probably just drop it out of nowhere, because the only reason we knew about Slay the Spire 2 in advance was because of all the fuckery with Unity. Because Megacrypt basically went, yeah, we're getting off Unity because we were developing Slay the Spire 2 for Unity, and fuck that noise because fuck Unity. By the way, we're working on Slay the Spire 2 now, I guess. Hey, just so you know, we are working on a Slay the Spire 2. This isn't how we wanted to announce it, but here we are. So as long as no one does any big fuckery for engines, we'll find out when they probably put the game out. Or it gets a trailer at a showcase or something. But any other thoughts?
Nah.
So have you ever wanted to know how much GTA Online makes?
Probably too much.
Absolutely, because some hackers have basically stole financial records from Rockstar and put it out on the internet because they were ransoming it, and Rockstar said no, and so they're like, well, fuck you, and put them out on the internet.
Sounds about right.
So, and for GTA Online, you can buy shark cards, which are in-game currency and stuff. Gives you like $250,000 for like $5. Basically, according to this data, Rockstar makes $1 million a day, and about $500 million annually.
Yep. Also, this is
I don't
why
know.
6 isn't out.
Yeah. This is also why they feel like 6 has a stupid high budget, because Rockstar can spend that kind of money, apparently. Also, apparently their stock went up because of this leak. It's now 208 a share instead of 202. Great. So yeah, if you ever wanted their financials, here it is. They make far too much money. I don't think that's gacha level money, but that's like stupid money for basically microtransactions. Any other thoughts?
Nah.
All right. How would you like to add another movie to the pile of movies that are in development based off video games?
Oh, Jesus.
How do you feel about a Bloodborne movie?
I mean, with seeing the rest of this, maybe.
So,
you're burying the lead there.
I know. I know. So Sony Pictures are developing a R-rated animated movie based off Bloodborne, and YouTuber Jacksepticeye is the producer on the movie. Okay. Like, I'm sure that gives you credibility. But guess what you don't have right now?
I mean, a lot of things.
Basically, because you don't have work to show for it. You were basically said, we're gonna do a thing, and we got a YouTuber to help us. And I go, okay, cool. Do you have anything? No, I don't care, because you don't have any work to show me. Do you have any idea how many of these there are? I might start a bit where I just have a notepad document that is a list of all of these fucking things that are in development. That, or I find someone who's tracked this shit, because somebody has to have a tracker for this shit. Because there's so many of these in development, and they all basically look like this, where it's like, we're working on a thing based off this one video game. The only difference is we got a YouTuber involved, and I'm like, you still have to show me work for me to care, because I don't care otherwise. Like, I'm seeing things for the Zelda movie that are still not the Zelda movie. They're just, hey, here's the logo. Hey, here's Link in costume. And I go, trailer? Story? Anything? Please? No. For reference, the logo is basically the Breath of the Wild logo. But the Link is green tunic Link. I was waiting to see if you had a thought about that.
Nah.
I hope they aren't trying to adapt any of the specific games and are just trying to go for the general structure of a Legend of Zelda game in a movie format. Because I think otherwise this is a disastrous mistake.
I don't think Nintendo's going to let them do a disastrous mistake on this, so...
I know.
A mistake, possibly.
Yeah, there's another one for the pile. Hey, good news! A union won a settlement with Ubisoft for getting laid off. Yay! I don't think I've heard word about the Rockstar one, but hey, a union did its job and helped its people. That's it. That's all I got. Also, I probably should have put this further up. Do you remember that they're making a COD movie? Well, they're making a COD movie. It's going to be out June 30th in 2028.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
No.
Fair. Someone in Discord was like, don't people like the COD stories? And I go,
it depends.
That was exactly someone else's response. And I'm like, I think anything before the first Black Ops is probably okay, but everything after that first Black Ops is binnable.
I don't know, because you get some of them that swear by the Black Ops storyline and don't care for the rest of it.
Okay.
So,
Granted, I just watched the video today, or I think again, of someone who went through Ghosts. And I'm like, Ghosts is the shit one. Good, great, fantastic. I also know the most recent one is just garbage. So I'm like, I don't know. I am pretty sure most people don't talk about COD's story, to be honest.
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
I think it's basically a pass fail of as long as you're not the worst thing in existence, you pass. The second you are like absolutely atrocious, you are in the bin, and people will not shut up about how terrible and awful you are as a Call of Duty story.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
I'm also curious, like, what the fuck would this movie even be? Is it going to be a period piece, or are they just going to do something just like a basic standard modern military shooter movie or modern military movie?
Yes.
Like, I'm just waiting for it to just be like, yeah, it's a modern military story. And I'm like, ah, good. We've got like a dozen of those on the shelf at the moment. Like, how is this? Like, that's the other thing. How would this be any different from any other military movie?
Because it would be Call of Duty.
But what makes Call of Duty different?
Yes.
It's like the hardest question in the world. It's like, wait, how would Call of Duty be any different? It's like the entire point of the Call of Duty franchise is that they pull things from movies and do them in their game. So if you turn that around, is it just mush? Is it just regurgitated mush?
Yes. So you make a movie about a game that's following tropes of movies.
Yes.
It's bound to work. Because then you're basically adapting an adaptation. And those always work.
This movie's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
Better question will be,
might
will
not
it
even be the right definition for it, but
yeah, granted, is it gonna be better or worse than the new Street Fighter movie? I don't know if you've bothered to see a trailer for that.
nope.
It looks just goofy and just cheesy as hell. And I'm like, this could work. But they might be trying to take this too seriously, so I don't know. Yeah, that's basically it for the news, folks. Any other thoughts?
No.
All right, releases. We're gonna kick off on Weed Day. Guess we've got High on Life 2 coming out on Weed Day for Series X, PlayStation 5, and Switch 2.
God, I feel like that was intended.
Right? It's the game from the Rick and Morty folks.
It was intended.
I'm sorry, it is exactly intended because it is the Rick and Morty writers.
Yeah.
On the 21st, Dragon Quest Smash and Grow for Android and iOS. I have the faintest idea what this is. I think I saw a trailer for it this week, and that trailer told me nothing. So I have no idea.
I mean, that trailer told you something. It told you that it was a Dragon Quest game for mobile.
Also on the 21st, Vampire Crawlers, the Turbo Wildcard from Vampire Survivors for Series X, PlayStation 5, Switch 2, and Android and iOS. This is basically the Vampire Survivors devs making a dungeon crawler, like a first-person dungeon crawler that's card-based. A demo's out. It's pretty good. On the massive list, it's the 23rd. So there's got to be something in here. A different game about letters for Xbox One and Series X.
Difficult. Apparently, it was difficult
difficult
for you to say that.
Yes, a difficult game about letters for Xbox One and Series X.
Well, I mean, letters are hard.
Yep. Crayon Sea Friends for Switch.
Combat Cart? Sorry, that one just jumped out at me there.
Yeah. You know what? Google, What is Combat Kart?
Fighting Cross Mario Kart?
No.
No.
No, this looks like a fairly basic. It's a casual yet thrilling kart racing game. Experience top-notch drifting, exhilarating nitro boost, adorable characters, and unique combat skills.
What?
It is. This is as basic as it looks for a kart racer. There is nothing going on here, man.
Boy, that sounded so much cooler than it actually is.
Don't
Not
they
even gonna
always?
lie. Because I'm thinking like a Road Rash style Mario Kart kind of deal when I hear that title.
Yeah. Instead, it's basic Mario Kart with.
Oh, I think your internet just said nope. Yep.
It's like bargain bin. Of course it did. Thanks, internet.
It might have caught up.
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right. I was trying to say, it said it is bargain bin basic Mario Kart with bargain bin basic anime for girls.
Yeah.
You don't. This would be in a Walmart bargain bin for $5 back in the day.
Moving on.
Let's see. Goat Out of Hell Lost Pets for Switch. Nickelodeon Splat Pack Classic Edition for PlayStation 5 and Switch. Until Then for Xbox Series X. On the 22nd, Little Nightmares VR Altered Echoes
24.
for PS5. Or, yeah, 24th. I don't know why I said 25th.
You said
22nd.
Oh. You got that all kinds of jacked up.
Yes, I did. Little Nightmares VR Altered Echoes for PS5 and MetaQuest. Where is it for the Jaguar and Vroom for the Jaguar? Isn't that the console that just like refuses to cooperate?
I don't remember.
I think it is. I don't think I've ever heard a story of a Jaguar being like being the most uncooperative thing in existence. Which is why it failed, is because like it functionally doesn't work. Let's see, on the 28th, FIFA Heroes for Android and iOS. Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition for Switch 2, i.e. the bad edition of Fallout 4 that they bungled. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Anniversary Edition for Switch 2. That one's not bungled as far as I know.
Well, you know what that means. It means after the 28th, the Switch 2 will officially be a console because it has had Skyrim on it now.
I forget if we've talked about it, but apparently like Elder Scrolls 6 is still like years out.
I wish I could be joking about that with Skyrim, but I swear that's the truth at this point.
I mean, they can't put out a new one that's still years out, apparently. So, like, we just got to keep putting Skyrim out if we want an Elder Scrolls going out the door, and because otherwise, Microsoft will slit our throats and kill us.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, I'm half waiting on them to do an anniversary edition for the anniversary edition.
No, they'll do Skyrim 2.
No, they'll find a way to do Skyrim 5 Anniversary 2 or something like that.
Like, you don't want them to do a 13 too?
No.
And then the 13.3?
No. No. Because I'm pretty sure Square has already demonstrated why you don't do that.
Saros is out for PlayStation 5 on the 28th. Let's see, on the 29th, MotoGP 26 for Xbox Series X, PS5, Switch, and Switch 2. Neverness to Everness for PlayStation 5, Android, and iOS. That's the GTA free-to-play gacha game, or GTA adjacent free-to-play gacha game made by other devs, but it seems to basically play like a GTA. So if you don't want to pay $1,200 for GTA 6, here's a free-to-play game that's will basically probably do everything that GTA does. That is not the one we've talked about that has the main character with the Spider-Man abilities. This is a different one. I think. I hope. I honestly do not remember the name of that game anymore.
I don't either.
On the 30th, Saros is out proper for PlayStation 5. The Fancy Edition was out a couple days earlier. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City for the MetaQuest, because where the fuck are all these turtle games coming from?
Yes.
Are they fucking Dragon Ball now, where they have to have a game out every, 6 months?
Probably.
Because good lord. Tomb Raider, the Crypt of Kronos for boarding card. Fucking Winx Club, the Magic is back for PlayStation 5 and Switch. Why the fuck is Winx Club here?
Because the Magic's back.
I guess. Do they have it? This is probably a question not to ask either of us. Do they have a new show? Is that why there's a new game?
Probably either that or license is fixing to expire, so throw a game out quick.
I guess. Oh, Invincible Versus is out for Series X and PlayStation 5. That's apparently a really good fighting game that people are playing about because it's basically a fighting game.
I mean,
apparently,
what would they expect it to be?
Apparently, the thing is, apparently the complaints are coming from I'm guessing a casual audience that is not used to how fighting games work and are playing a fighting game and getting their ass handed to them and going, why am I losing? And basically everyone in the FGC is basically going, because a fighting game, because you're playing people who have fighting game experience, and a lot of that carries over between games. What do you want? Like, someone basically put out a tweet of just like, yeah, you can't make a casual fighting game because what's the point? Fighting games are going to have their audience. It's not going to be super mega big, so deal with it. Making a fighting game too casual just doesn't work. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That's why I stared at anybody who played the Power Rangers fighting game and was like, why do I don't like losing? And I go, stop playing the fighting game then, because guess what? You're gonna lose. I think that the best statistic I saw to explain it was, on a professional level, a professional fighting game player's win-loss record is little better than 50%.
I could say that.
And that is at the highest of high end. And they have probably as best a 50% win record, a win-loss record. I'm just like, what do you expect? That is as high as you can go, and you're only going to win 50% of the time. If you're on the low end, you're getting your shit kicked in. If you want to stop feeling bad about it, be Goku and be okay with losing.
Yeah.
Be Goku, be okay with losing, get better, or don't care. One or the other. There is no option for anything else. Anyway, we only have one release on May the 1st, which is Constants for Xbox Series X and Switch. That is it for releases. Anything else?
No.
All right, then. Thursday, doing more CAD as we... I don't think we'll finish up Kabuto this week, but we'll get a lot of work done for Kabuto, and I think we'll finish it the week after. It helps that it's the third Beetle I've done, so... There's not like a whole lot else I can do differently than the other two Beetles. Friday will be... I forgot. WarioWare. Yes, WarioWare.
Wow.
And Saturday at 9, so make sure that is reiterated on the schedule because it's going to be that way for a while.
Yeah.
Will be something.
Yeah. I don't know what.
And then next Sunday, we are back to Kyoryuger proper episodes. And then in 2 weeks, we'll be back with more video game news.
Well, video game.
We're getting close to summer gaming stuff. We're still like a month and a half out from it, but we're getting there. Are you excited for a direct?
Directs don't exist anymore.
What about a state of play?
A what?
A Xbox Game Showcase?
I know what those are.
Jeff's stupid long show?
Meh. I won't act like that one doesn't exist. It just never has anything good.
It's also entirely too goddamn long.
It's one of those state of play and Xbox Showcase. They don't have anything and they're wasting time.
Nintendo's not doing directs because they've
Reasons.
apparently bungled the Switch 2 launch of games, it feels like.
I think the main reason why we're not seeing directs is because of the fact of, I think when they were first doing it, they were doing it pretty frequent to be that different maker kind of deal. Now that everyone has followed suit, they're like, okay, never mind. We're done. We'll do them when we need to, and that's about it.
We'll announce games on our mobile app.
Yeah, how's that working for them?
Do you remember Splatoon Raiders?
I mean, I remember of it.
It's not out, but that's the only the place it existed was being announced on their mobile app.
Mm-hmm. No, I thought it was in. I thought the title card was in a direct.
It might have been.
I think we got the Prime 4 treatment with it, where we literally got the title in a direct.
I know they showed the smallest bit of gameplay on the app.
Yeah. But I think we got the title in the direct. And it literally was white screen with the title.
Yeah.
Which, now that I'm actually thinking about that, that was actually more than we got for Prime 4 because we only got the 4.
Yeah.
So if it's following suit of Prime 4, then we will see it either when the Switch 3 comes out or at least 4 to 5 years from now.
Oof. We'll get Splatoon 4 and 5 by then.
I wish I was joking, but I swear that tends to be what happens when Nintendo fails to give anything.
Yeah. Why they should stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have that soon. I also want to bring it up because I think the rest of it went out today. It either went out today or went out yesterday. Basically, the last time we ever did E3 coverage. Because it was also the last time E3 ever happened. Which, for reference, folks, was 2019. It has been that long since E3 died.
Dang, that means we're actually getting close to have done the show as long as we've not done E3.
Basically. But yeah, I guess also basically it's TGS 2019's Tuesday and Wednesday. I think it's just the last of them, and then it's at that point it's basically whatever playlists have not gone up are just going to go up when I find them. That's basically what's left. There's not a whole lot of like big things left. Actually, the TGS is from 2019 is the last big playlist I've got. Everything else is like sub 20 videos in terms of playlists. There's not a whole lot left. I think maybe in 2-ish months, maybe if I'm lucky, everything will be on the YouTube. I think it'd be 2 months. It might be a little longer than that, but that basically will mean the only time you'll see things on the YouTube are, I guess, on the Mondays when the stuff for the week goes out. Or maybe on a Tuesday if we are backed up a day. I don't know if I want to change how we upload things.
I mean, you could.
Like, if I change it, it's going to be basically the whatever we did that week. It will go out on like the 9 o'clock slot subsequent days. So Thursday stream would go out Monday, Friday stream would go out Tuesday, Saturday stream would go out Wednesday, Sunday stream would go out Thursday. Is basically how that work.
Which I mean,
but that's
work.
Yeah, but that's gonna require me to be done with all the archive stuff, which, like I said, it's still gonna be like 2 months till that happens. But yeah, there's the YouTube end of things. So if you like what you see, and drop a follow, really appreciate it. For that YouTube, it's exclamation point YouTube and chat to get it. Exclamation point social and chat gets our handles for social medias, and exclamation point Discord and chat gets a link. Drop by, say hi. We'll see you Thursday, folks.